Hi, thanks for those who joined early. We're going to let some people join in here for the next few minutes. I'm going to try to start at 2 p.m. sharp. Hi, Mike. Are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, good. We'll announce you when we're ready, but thanks for joining.
Yep, Dan won't be joining this one, but.
Hi, all. Thank you for joining. Let me get back in here. All right. You should see my screen right now. What we're going to do is basically we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to have 2 guest speakers today, one from talech and one from Factor 4 gift cards. As most of you know, if you need sales training or operations training, feel free to shoot me an email. Very happy to set that up with your group. What's also nice is that we'll be able to really walk through, again, third-party apps, maybe things that you haven't learned in previous webinars. And I also record this, and I have a monthly newsletter that follows these seminars. So in that monthly newsletter, we're going to have the recording as well as some obviously updated news and a link back to the Sales Hub where you can find information and introductions to the third-party apps. Again, some of you have been working with me for the last 12 months in Selling Poynt, and some of you are newer, so I definitely want to get you caught up. And don't feel, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or feel like you need more knowledge on the in the Poynt market. So here's our agenda for today. And today I'm going to focus on a lot of the business applications, and I have some really fun updates and features that are available on Poynt going into this new year. I know that a lot of you are excited for Poynt 5. We're really pushing hard with the Poynt team to get that done in Q1 of the new year. And so we're working on a few more things there, and then we should hopefully have that going. But I keep a lot of the reps really motivated on replacing credit card terminals today with the Poynt system. You can lock them in. You can't wipe the terminal. It's kind of a no-brainer on if you're selling to terminal merchants. But I'm going to go over some other features today that are going to help you sell to more sophisticated and larger and better merchants. So really excited to have the guest speakers on here, and we'll jump right into that. So for business applications, we were a little slow moving at first to get applications, and now we got a lot coming in. I'm getting requests and emails all the time on your feedback, so keep it coming. That feedback does go right to the Poynt development team, and we're really just kind of figuring out what's going to be best next steps in order to get a lot of the features that you guys are looking for. Sometimes it's not as easy as it is just building it. There are regulations and restrictions with the processors. I mean, it's just not a plug and play or a simple to build product. But with what we have today and how many we're selling, we definitely know that Poynt is making an impact on the market, and we really want you guys to take advantage of it and get ahead of the game. The new application that's really easy to understand, it's basically print your logo on a receipt. So really inexpensive, $1.99 per terminal a month. That's $1.99 per terminal a month. And really what this is we got a lot of feedback that everyone loves the digital receipts, the email and the SMS. I love the digital receipts because if you email the receipt, it's you can link back to social media. It's more brand awareness. It has the website, and then you can also kind of put your logo in there. So now we've given that option to put the logo on the printed receipt. If maybe the merchant does get a lot of printed receipts and they want to have that printed logo on there, so they can have a little bit more brand awareness and loyalty. A very simple to use application, and now available on your merchant's Poynt terminal. Down the road, there's Customer Connect building more integrations with existing legacy point of sale systems, or some MPODs. So if you see some of these groups, it's another way for you not to get intimidated and maybe start a conversation of saying, I have your now EMV pay-to-table solution. I know that these are going to strike up a lot of questions. So if you ask me questions on this new application, I'm probably going to push you right to their team. So I do have contact information right at the bottom. If you see some of those POS that you've seen in the field and you want more information, feel free to reach out to their team. They're ready to help and maybe have a good solution for you. But that definitely ties into what the theme of today's webinar is all about, and that's more sophisticated applications on what's going to work for selling to larger merchants. So on that last slide, what I did is I did put some extra slides in there to look what the customer experience is going to look like for the new Customer Connect app. But we're going to jump into our guest speakers, and to start we have talech. So if you don't know talech POS, I have Gerald, who's actually in my office today, which is pretty fun. So he and his team, they built an integration with Poynt. So you can basically sell the talech POS software and use a Poynt terminal as the payment solution. But this actually might work for you if you are selling the Poynt terminal and you find a more sophisticated retailer or full-service restaurant. You might be able to really close them with the talech software and not walk away saying, the Poynt terminal might not have enough for them. So I'm really excited to have Gerald. And Gerald, you there?
Yep, I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Let me pass you the panelist role, and then we should be able to see your screen here in a second.
Thank you, sir. Can you see it? It's just the talech webpage right here. I'm moving it up and down.
You got it. You're good to go.
Excellent. Thanks, Joey. So everyone, thank you so much for the time. I'll keep this pretty brief. I know that many of you have already started selling talech, and for those of you who don't, I'll probably just to give a quick overview. But really, just to bury the lead, the big thing that we have for this presentation is the ability to actually connect into the Poynt system. So for those of you who have a talech demo account and a Poynt system, feel free to do this. But basically, you can fire up the app on the iPad, go into the back office, and then from there you can easily just go in there and choose, whoops, there we go, the Poynt terminal. It is a semi-integrated connection, so it's great because it really doesn't matter what you guys are selling the Poynt in terms of the processing, the acquiring, the gateways, whatever. Basically, it's a semi-integrated. It's a semi-integration, which means that when I ring up Joey for $14, I just hit pay. It tells the Poynt device to go process $14, dip, swipe, whatever, and then it returns back the auth and settlement ID back to talech, so that if we do want to execute a return or a refund or just look up that receipt later on, we absolutely can do that. So talech itself, for those of you who don't know, we're obviously a point-of-sale software. About half of our customers are some kind of retailer with stuff on the shelf. Other half of our customers are any kind of restaurant, obviously a bunch of quick serves, a bunch of cafes, but also a growing community of restaurants where we are increasingly seeing the requirement to bring a payment device to the person because the card requires a PIN or something like that. And I have to say that while we do have support for other devices, the Poynt device is by far and away one of the most stable environments, particularly in a busy restaurant, particularly if you need to carry the device around. So talech itself, we're a young company. We're based right here in Palo Alto, just a little bit south of the Boomtown offices. We have thousands of customers across the country. Our footprint is basically our partners' footprint. We don't really have any direct. I mean, every now and then we have somebody that kind of calls us out of the blue because they saw a neighbor two stories down that saw talech. But primarily, all of our distribution is through partners such as yourself. We are a great fit for, like I said, retail and restaurant and small business. But invariably, because we've been focusing on small business, we have been able to get into larger and larger customers. So, an 8-location cafe is the easiest one for us to figure out. But we do have a lot of, I got a French bistro up here, a Greek restaurant down there. My wife has a pet store out there. So we are able to consolidate a bunch of disparate businesses up into one headquarters view. The system itself is, like I said, pretty straightforward. The system can do all sorts of restaurant capabilities. Obviously, we can fire away different positions. We can have coursing. We have pre-MV auths. We also have a slew of retail capabilities, not just keeping your inventory, but also the ability to have a bunch of different capabilities like inventory alerts, purchase orders, and things like that. Now, invariably, though, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of capability that's in the Poynt device, but invariably, what does happen is that we do get a bunch of customers who kind of graduate up from that. And again, I think the Poynt device is a fantastic out-of-the-box experience. But especially when you see people who are growing up, they're a little more concerned. Their reporting is not as robust. Right? We do see a lot of customers graduating up to us and then using the capabilities. We do have 3 tiers. I would say like 80 to 90, not 90, but like 80% easily fit in this category right here of $69 a month. It's going to have the most of all the capabilities that you need. But if you do have a restaurant that does need to split check, course the orders and everything like that, or if you have a retailer that has a high degree of turnover, they're doing inventory all the time, they're just losing lots of money, doing their inventory checks, we do have a premium service at that level. And then we recently also introduced a lower end service. We do think that this kind of overlaps pretty cleanly with what the Poynt system does. So maybe this may not be the best fit. But we do have a basic tier system. All of these tiers will work with the Poynt device. So happy to explain more if you guys want me to get on a call with you guys and explain a little bit more as well. But like I said, the point of sale system is fairly robust. It has a bunch of capabilities, but it's the back-end system where we really truly get a lot of, people are saying, wow, I never really knew that about my business, right? So let me go ahead and log in right here. You will notice right off the bat that you are able to keep data for as long as you want, and you can, like I said, also roll up a bunch of different locations depending on how many locations, as and when you do have those multiple locations. Now, the one thing that we have not done is, even though we feel we have a pretty powerful reporting system, is that we have not kind of gone overboard and started to overload the person with data. Now, that might, seem kind of a funny thing to say to this kind of a crowd, but you are in the financial industry, so you're okay with doing pricing statement analysis and everything like that. We have a large number of customers that their first instinct is not to roll up a pivot table or a macro, and so all they can take is looking at these basic charts. Now, however, if they do want to go further, they absolutely can. Let me show you some of the more complex reporting we do, which is that you can obviously go down and get all the underlying data, but you can also tie this into APIs. So if you have a CRM system, some sort of business intelligence system, you can do that. You can email it to your accountant. We do have accounting integrations across the board. And then, of course, you can also download all this data. And if you do have a newly minted MBA son who wants to do all kinds of just-in-time inventory analysis, they can absolutely do that, and then kind of slice and dice to their heart's delight.
So this looks like a no-brainer, Gerald, for for obviously multi-location. I was talking earlier about more sophisticated retail shops, more sophisticated restaurants, and I'm loving all the features that you guys have. And obviously, it's going to be really helpful for these groups that are selling to bigger and better, juicier merchants that have more processing typically. And as we're going through this, I know that not everybody on this call or not every agent has to learn anything about how to sell talech, right? You guys will be available for helping, so I wanted to just kind of hear a little bit about that and how you guys can help us out. So if I'm a rep walking down the street, I'm replacing every credit card terminal with a Poynt. All of a sudden, I come across this merchant that needs a little bit more of a POS-centric system. What are kind of my next steps as a rep?
Brilliant, brilliant. Yep, so absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up, Joey. So one of the things that we're keenly aware of is that it can get a little tricky trying to talk about the value proposition of point of sale and what it does, what it can't do, and everything like that. So one of the things, and I think Joey will put this up on the Sales Hub, is that we have built a portal that is basically geared for your customer experience. Now, absolutely, you don't have to use this if you are fairly capable at using talech, and we have hundreds and hundreds of reps that are able to do that. They're able to sell and close on their own. But if you do have a customer that's maybe a little more advanced, or you yourself just want to hear us do our demo, we have a portal where you can go in there, you can schedule a demo. Right? Please make sure, for the love of God, please make sure that you use the right time zone. But basically, you choose the right time zone for your customer. We'll schedule a demo. It's a one-to-one demo, so we have an army of sales engineers. We can get in there, talk to your customers, get as deep as they want or not, right? And then we can go ahead and do the sale for you. Obviously, you will close, right? But I mean, I would say that the numbers right now are between 86 to 89% of our demos do close right then and there.
Yeah, this is really important too, because I've learned that a lot of merchants really love the look and feel of the Poynt terminal. And so, but they'll say, oh, I really want this, but I need full service restaurant features, or I really love the Poynt terminal, but unfortunately I need inventory management. So that's a perfect opportunity to go, you know what, I have a team, we can basically demo one of our POS softwares for you without you having to learn the extensivity of this actual program, right? So talech's a great team to work with. They're very channel focused. They have an army, as you said, of basically sales reps who will help you close deals. So it really is a no-brainer for your team to basically, be selling more sophisticated solutions. And I know that you guys already have, again, other POS systems that you're selling, but, once you're showing that Poynt terminal off, you'll be surprised at how many merchants want that. So here's a great way to say, look, still use the Poynt terminal as a pay table solution, but I'm gonna have really a kick-butt software that's going to help run your business. And so you'll be surprised at how many merchants get really excited about that. And I love the schedule of demo. I think that your team does that. It's fantastic and super helpful for a lot of the agents or reps that, again, are just not maybe intimidated by selling too much.
Perfect. Yep. So, guys, feel free to reach out to me. My email is will be up on the Sales Hub if you want a deeper dive. Happy to go through as much as you'd like. But yeah, the main thing is that we are integrated with Poynt. We have a bunch of customers that again graduate up to Poynt. If you run into a customer that is graduating from a cashier register from the 1980s, and they, you want to know how to get the conversation going, I would say that basically just ask them about their basic elements of their business. Like if it's a restaurant, I love asking, hey, how long does it take you to close out the restaurant? Hey, last night was a disaster. It took us an hour and a half. Well, let me show you something that can do that in less than 5 minutes. Or if you're a retailer customer, ask them, hey, do you know what is your best, like how often are you running out of those T-shirts, right? Those core elements of that data will get them, will pique their interest. And when they say, yeah, well, how do I do that? Absolutely, like Joey says, just say, you know what? Let me get an expert for you on the line. Let's do a demo. It takes less than half an hour, right? And we can answer all the questions, and we'll be happy to rock and roll. Cool. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gerald. And I'm going to take the presenter role back right now. If you guys can, let me see real fast, show my screen. I have Gerald's information right here on the screen. So along with that information, I'll put in the Sales Hub on how to get in touch with talech. Obviously, he's a great resource for questions, or if you have those multi-location groups and those leads that you're really, looking to close and you haven't found a sophisticated enough solution. Talech, we've worked with them, honestly, since the beginning of Boomtown, and very, very, very easy to work with, great team. So excited to excited to obviously help you guys out there. And then I have my next guest jumping in here. Factor 4 gift cards. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if we can get Mike on here. And then, Mike, you are unmuted. You and Dan there?
Yes, it's just Mike with Factor 4. Dan actually is not here today on this webinar session.
Awesome. No problem at all. Yeah, thank you for jumping on. And I would love to hear a little bit about your team and Factor 4 gift cards.
Yep. So Factor 4, we're a gift and loyalty processor. We have a full support team that we're always answering emails and calls. So you're always going to hear from us. And if you don't hear from us, always send us an email, leave us voicemail, and we'll get back to you right away in a timely manner. We have thousands of merchants that are processing every day on our platform, so we can control a large amount of volume. There's really nothing we can't do for gift cards. We only focus on gift and loyalty. We don't do any credit side, so we're mainly experts in gift and loyalty. So that's one of the things that separates us. People always try to do both, but we only focus on the gift and loyalty side.
Yeah, I was really excited to hear when you guys first integrated. You guys were one of the, if not the first, gift card application for Poynt. And obviously, when you're selling terminals or selling point of sale system, it's probably one of the first questions that always comes up. Do you have gift cards? What are your gift card capabilities? And on the first seminar, you guys were talking about one thing that I loved is that if I have an existing gift card program and I'm switching over to Poynt, you guys can help convert those existing gift cards onto the Poynt system, so they don't, they're not losing any money there, and they're not creating a bad experience for their customers. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that in detail. Do you mind kind of telling us how that works?
Yes, certainly. So how that works is any old processor we can convert to our system. What we really need is the gift card number that's on the back of the card. We can convert any merchants over. So we get that gift card number and we put it in our system. So now when they go ahead and swipe the card or they hand key it in or even scan the barcode on the back of the card, it recognizes it and goes to our system. We import it right away. Sometimes we like to test the cards as well, where we would test the swipe. So sometimes like the magnetic encoding is different than the card number printed on the back. But we have made adjustments in our system for certain processors. For example, First Data. First Data, their swipe for the card and the card number printed on the back do not match. But we created an algorithm that when you swipe the card, it recognizes that card number in our system. So we have made many adjustments to our system so that we can convert any processors. We can make it easy for the person to move over so they don't have gift cards out there. And it just makes more of a havoc on the merchant. If they have just gift cards, we have to look at a list. Instead, next time they come in, they can just use it as if they got new gift cards.
Okay, great. That's perfect. That's really, really helpful to understand. And, it's one of the things that I want a lot of these sales reps to be comfortable with selling gift cards because it's such a needed piece of any kind of payment sale. So you guys, sounds like you guys will also do the branding. You guys will help with the logo. You're very dynamic, very proactive. And so once the merchant gets signed up, it's very easy for you guys to kind of figure out what they need. And obviously, it sounds like you guys have a sales team, a support team that's available 24/7. We'd love to hear a little bit more about the services and what kind of you guys will do.
Yep. So we really help as soon as we get the merchant set up for them and we sign them up in our system. We'll go ahead, help them with their artwork, help them with the conversion. And then once we get their cards and they receive them, we'll set up a time to do training with them, walk them through all the steps. We also have a YouTube channel that has training videos where they can look through. Sometimes when you're talking over the phone, people are more visual learners. So we send them those links. They review those links and they're able to run it fine. We have QRGs as well. So there's a lot we have for training guides, and then we also will set up time to do training with the merchants. And then if they're down, and we have after-hour support, so there's always someone checking voicemails and emails, and we will get back to you in a timely manner. So there's nothing that the merchant will never not hear from us for 4 hours out of the day. We'll get back right to them in the hour. Because if they're down and they can't sell a gift card, they're losing business. So we don't want them to lose business, so we'll get right back to them, and we'll help them get them right back up and running with gift cards.
Awesome, that's great. And it sounds like you guys have the online portal, so it's easy for people to kind of see how much money is spent. We were talking about earlier, too, one thing I love about gift cards is I know that a high percentage of them go unredeemed, so it's kind of like free money for merchants. It actually pays back the program really quickly. I believe you guys are $15 a month for the program. You guys, that's all the services, features, and then you just have the per card fee. What would be a good package for a small merchant out the gate? Maybe a small retail or restaurant, cafe, deli size. What would be a great kind of package for them?
Yeah, just the package would just be either like 100 custom cards or 100 standard cards to start out with, just for a smaller size merchant, just to get used to it, and they start selling gift cards right away. That would probably be the best package. We also have the marketing kit, where marketing kit you can put like flyers around the store, like hang up things in the window, have a display right at your desktop, at your counter, because some people have the gift cards behind their counter and no one knows they sell them. So you can put the gift cards right on the counter, and now they come in, they're like, oh, I want a gift card. My friend goes here, my brother, my aunt, my uncle, my sister goes here. Oh, they like yours, so they buy one. And then that sister, brother, uncle, aunt might not even come in and use it, so now that's money for the merchant that they already have.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really good to know. So sounds like, you know, a kind of an out the gate really good starter package for someone who maybe hasn't sold gift cards before. You know, knows to put them on display, gets their logo on there. Really, again, customer focused. So when the customer comes in, they can see everything that you know, they can see it right away. It's on a nice display. You know, it's definitely a no-brainer. I think that it's going to be part of the conversation for a lot of the agents and sales reps. I'd love to see, you know, if they need help, or if any of the agents or sales reps have questions, feel free to reach out to me or Dan and Mike at the Factor 4 gift card team. I think that they have a great product. Their team is really easy to work with. So it's something that I would start talking about if I was starting selling.
Yeah, certainly. And if you guys want to learn more, just contact us, and anyone can help you here, and we can let you know more about our system and everything too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And, you know, obviously it was great having you on here. And I'll make sure everyone gets your information. Again, we'll be available in the sales hub for our resellers. But thanks a lot for today, Mike.
Yes, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And going into Poynt updates. So give me 1 second. You know, one question I just got is, can you download and export customer list or email from Poynt HQ? Today you can't. But one thing that I also learned, guys, is that merchants can buy the List Builder application, which is only $9 a month. And with the List Builder application, it's a seamless integration to MailChimp and Constant Contact, which are email marketing platforms. But what it also does, it actually can just generate an email list for you, kind of an Excel file. So if you don't already have an email marketing platform, or you just want the emails, it's a really easy way for you to capture all those email addresses. I'm also going to show you some features coming up here that are going to help you with help your merchants with you know, loyalty and communication with their merchants. So give me 1 second, going on the next slide. I did want to cover this real fast. I know that a lot of you know this, but I get questions all the time. You can customize the screen, the customer-facing screen. You can actually put your own image and your own wording on there. I do send out this deck in a monthly newsletter about a day or so after my seminars. So in that monthly newsletter, you will get that. You will get this, you know, the instructions if you need it, and it'll show your business how to do this. But obviously, really, really helpful for, you know, brand recognition and for some of the agents and sales reps that didn't know this. All right, messaging with customers. So this is pretty interesting. When we first got started, we didn't really realize that every time a merchant put in their email and got a receipt, an email receipt, or put in their phone number to get a SMS text receipt, they were replying to those messages. So we now have it available that the merchant can reply back to the consumer after they've, you know, maybe asked the question. So on the right here is actually what the customer point of view would be, right? They just got a text receipt, they had a question, and then the merchant's able to respond. So really fun, because now, you know, these messages aren't going into limbo or into like a black hole. They're literally, you know, going into the merchant's mobile HQ and Poynt.net. So the next slide, what I have here, is actually showing you the merchant point of view. So this is what it would look like if someone actually responded to your receipt. So you still have to buy the List Builder application if you want to collect every receipt. This will only give you the advantage of messaging if you, again, if people are replying to your receipts. So I'm really happy that we captured this. I'm really happy that we learned about this, because, again, a lot of people were missing out there. Just give me 1 second. All right, sorry guys, I'm gonna go back to the screen here. I do have a question, so let me just get this question real fast. Sell both these products to Factor 4, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, so basically, can I sell both these products, talech and Factor 4? These talech, yeah, there's leasing options for talech. I know that for sure for the hardware. They have a bunch of different packages that Jared will be able to help you out with. But a factor 4 you can sell with any Poynt terminal, and then I'm sure talech will help you figure out kind of the gift card solutions if they need something on the actual talech product. But again, if you're selling Poynt, the factor 4 works with any Poynt terminal, and then talech, again, they have a very, very well-versed sales team that will help you kind of overcome any intimidations or questions that maybe those larger merchants have. So definitely get into contact with these guys. I'll have their contact information available as well. And feel free to keep the questions coming, guys. I'm going on to another unique feature that actually helps for more customer experience on the reseller side. We can now give you the view of the customer. So what I used to have to do is make everybody kind of like a login for their customer if they wanted to see what the merchant sees in Poynt.net. So we can actually, if you email us, we'll give you permission to see what your merchants see. Really, there is kind of an integration that we have to do with your reseller portal. Not intended for all salespeople, all agents, really intended for the support reps, operations members, or maybe smaller groups that kind of are one-man shops and kind of run the whole thing. But just a great way for you to kind of see, again, the view that your merchant sees, which I know that a lot of people are asking for because they'll be on the phone with their merchant and they're like, I see this, and the rep will be like, oh, unfortunately, I only see this. I don't know what you're looking at. So just a much better experience, a much better way to really understand the world of Poynt, what you're selling every day, and a lot of those value-added features. So definitely definitely reach out. There's Success to Go Boomtown if you need instructions on how to do this. And I'm looking to see if we have a few more questions here. And a lot of questions that we've been getting to, guys, on why I really wanted Gerald to jump on here today. I'm getting a lot of questions about POS integration. So again, the talech system integrates with Poynt. So it's a semi-integrated solution, which means that you bring up the person on the talech software, and then you can use the Poynt as that beautiful pay-to-table solution. Does the EMV chip, Apple Pay, Android Pay, does all the payment options. So again, if you're looking at larger merchants, great way to kind of bring them in and teach them how to migrate up to those smarter solutions. But you guys can visit our sales hub at any time. I'll have these new updates in there. I'll have a link to the talech sales page where they can schedule demos. I'll have information. I already have information on Factor 4 there. There's the one pager and their contact information. If you have any questions, you can probably get the pricing sheet for how many different packages they have and the different types of cards and all of the marketing packages they have. A lot of great things for your merchants. So definitely don't want you guys missing out. If you need anything going further to, feel free to call me, text me. And this time I'll take more questions if we have any. How do I sign up for the monthly newsletter? Good question. Actually, if you are on this email, you are already basically signed up for the monthly newsletter. You can also go to the Sales Hub, and you can just enter your information in there, and then we'll make sure you're on there. But everybody who's on these webinars who logs in with their email, as long as your email is correct, you'll get the follow-up email from the seminar, which is also the monthly newsletter, which typically follows again a few days after the seminar. What we do is we have recordings in there. We have the deck. We also have introductions to the guest speakers, along with more material and more updates that as they're coming. We have a lot of fun stuff coming in 2018, so really excited for the Poynt channel. This thing's flying off the shelf with a lot of our resellers. So if you feel like you're not getting that type of result, definitely reach out. Let me know how I can help and get your team more educated. Very happy to host sales series. Because of the influx of Poynt terminal sales, I'm actually hiring more support reps, so just faster responses to you guys, more sales support, I should call it, to answer questions as you guys are selling out in the field, and more kind of real-time, on-demand questions as well. But it looks like we're all set with questions as of right now, so I do appreciate you all joining. Until obviously next month, have a great holiday, and look forward to selling more Poynt into the new year. Thanks a lot, guys.